Okay, so this is Keira's Guiding Mentor 11. And we'll take a look at the final reflection she's worked on a little bit, and then we'll do part of it together. And then we will go into her portfolio. So take it away, Keira.
Do you want me to read just what I wrote in part A?
Yeah, so if you could share, maybe you already are, sharing your screen, I think would be great for the video recording. And I can prompt you along the way. So the first question was a few descriptive words that capture your feeling about your portfolio.
Yeah, so I chose challenging, collaborative, personal, and introspective because I felt like a lot of it was both collaborative and then also there were lots of personal pieces. And each of those were challenging.
Totally. And you had to sit with it by yourself. I wasn't as much a part of it this year as I was last year. Yeah. Right? As you guys learn more about yourselves and take on more leadership. So yeah, lots of time to really think about it.
Yeah.
What was your big theme that you came up with?
Communication and leadership.
Beautiful.
Because even though it was lots by yourself, it was either communicating your own thoughts or leading other people and having to communicate to them.
I appreciate the addition of that word communication as well, because I think we can really easily think that leadership is like an all-encompassing word, and some people just put leadership down there. But the fact that you added communication, that's key. That's what successful leadership is being able to communicate, right, with ourselves, with others. So that's beautiful. Learning processes that were new to you?
Basically all of leadership and also learning. Because in my Phi Design Gateways workshop that I went into, even though I also taught a small part of it, it was a lot of learning and listening to the other students and knowing when to pop in, I guess. So I was teaching younger students, but also learning through them.
Love that. Are you surprised by any of the end results?
I was surprised with myself running both of the meetings, the one that we did within our own pod and then the one I did with Wendy. Yeah, both of those.
It was super smooth. The one you did to the pod was like you had just done that a million times. Yeah. But if I think back to this time last year, I honestly can't actually even imagine you being so comfortable doing something like that.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see you just like jump into that.
I think I just surprised myself with that I did it smoothly and it wasn't, I don't know, as hard as I thought it would be.
Well, it's, when you sit, I find leadership really fascinating. Like when I have big things that I'm doing, sometimes, like, so say I have a big thing planned for tomorrow, sometimes I spend the whole night tonight, like, tossing and turning and imagining all the situations that could happen and what people might say and how I'll keep them engaged. And, you know, I go through all of it, and then I get myself up in front of whatever the group of people is, and I find that often we can be amazed with what we have within us.
Yeah.
Like somehow you know how to say the right thing, and you like don't actually have to think about it as much. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love teaching this course, because of that. And when I was your age, like that, I feel like was my pivot point for really discovering my own voice and being able to feel a bit more confident and comfort with communicating with others and leading others. And that just opens up a million doors of possibilities if we start to, you know, realize that life is about these connections, right? Whether you're meeting your future husband or getting your dream job or, you know, buying something at the grocery store, like we're constantly having connections with individuals. And I think the more comfortable we can become with that level of communication, it's just amazing what we're able to accomplish.
Yeah.
So this last question was kind of weird. I see that didn't quite make that much sense to you, but I think what we could summarize it up to is maybe just take out of each artifact. So how could you identify a next step or question that you might want to explore as you look ahead? How would we say that?
As I look ahead.
After Guiding Mentor 11.
Okay.
As you look ahead in your life.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful for how much through the course I've gotten to learn about leadership, but also just being able to do things online that I probably wouldn't be able to do if I was at regular school right now, like Google Drive.
Cool. Can you elaborate on that?
Pardon?
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Like Hangouts, Drive, like all the things that you can do online. Like I've gotten to do meetings online, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I just, I don't know, got a different type of education through it. So then in the future, maybe if some of the things come up where I have to do a Google Hangouts meeting, I'll already understand how it works.
Okay, I like that. So like a comfort with technology that can kind of shatter any barriers that you might have had before around those things. That's cool. I edit this document. I can view it, but I want to do a couple edits in here. Did you close the wrong window?
No, I don't know. It just stopped.
Oh, did we just pop out? Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That might just be a flutter in my own internet. Here, I'll refresh.
Should I keep screen sharing?
Yeah, for the recording, but now I'll be in the document as well, helping you type your responses.
Okay.
It's just loading. Oh, did you add me as an editor?
I think now you can edit it.
Perfect. Excellent. So at this point, let's open up your portfolio and let's start to talk specifically about some of the artifacts that you have created.
Okay. So will this be kind of like my presentation of one artifact?
Yeah, well, how about we do a quick
okay,
little tour and then we'll highlight.
Okay. So I have 14 pages in it, and I've made sure to add like all of the required ones and then a couple, I think 2 extra ones. So I have my learning plan, which we made in the very beginning, with just that. And then my first artifact, which was my string art that I made in topic 1, which I was very proud of. And I got to make, it was around Halloween. And then some of the writing prompt and the mind map we made in topic 2. The New Year, New Me document, where I basically just put that I wanted to reduce stress.
How's that been going?
I think I've learned a few new ways to organize myself that definitely reduce stress. So I think it's
nice.
And then
well, I can say too, I've seen a shift in you in terms of because I think you've still been going through just as much. There's always bumps along the way that we don't expect, but you seem, and it's also helping because your communication's better, I think, this year than it was last year, perhaps. But you seem to be more grounded with it all. Whereas last year you might not have spoken about it. This year you're able to speak about it, but I can like see like you're accepting things more. And I think that helps reduce stress, right? Rather than fighting it and saying, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? It's like, no, this is what it is. Here we are. And I'll just continue to move forward because that's what we do.
Yeah, I've definitely become more comfortable talking about the more personal side. And I think that comes a lot from the other kids in our pod. Maybe in the first year I'd see them kind of opening up a bit, but I felt, I don't know, not ready. And I guess this year I feel like I've taken a bit more part in sharing.
Oh, I love that.
And then we have the community service, which I didn't get to do. Mostly because around the time that this happened, I went to Ontario for about a month. Yeah. But
you've done lots of cool things like that. So we were not concerned about you missing out on those learning outcomes.
Yeah. And then we have the first leadership workshop that we did that I was in a group with Kiana in August, but I was in Ontario, so I missed the actual meeting. But I got to be there to fill out some reflection questions and see all the work that they got to do. And then this is my FI design workshop where I have some feedback and the document and then my meeting. And this was going to be the one that I was going to present or highlight, I guess. You want to come back to it, or
let's let's go into it right now because we're there.
Yeah. Well, I wanted this to be my main artifact because I felt like it was the biggest for me, and it was a struggle or not a struggle, I guess, just a challenge because I was on the road while I was doing this. We drove, and I was actually in a hotel room in New Mexico when we when we filmed, when we actually did the meeting. So it was a big, it felt like a big artifact for me because I was writing lots of it in the car, and every stop I'd do something else, and I had to look up Fibonacci and all that type of stuff.
Wow. I remember my first meeting that I hosted away from my home as well. And there's like, you're losing that comfort of like being at your own desk.
Yeah.
You know, there's comfort there. That's your classroom. So then having to do it somewhere else, let alone having to leave, like, yeah, that's a big step.
Yeah, it was really different. It felt like I was in an office.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I was proud of being able to share what I knew and also just using the resources the limited resources that I had at the hotel. And I was proud of how I managed to get everything done and appear calm in the video. I felt rewatching the video, and also I felt like I portrayed myself well.
Nice, Keira. Wow. And did you watch the video again afterwards?
I watched some of it just to see, but it is strange to watch.
It's so hard. I know with these exit interviews, often I find because I go back into them, and it's hard to listen to my voice, again. So, and I see things within my own like languaging or my own leadership style where I'm like, oh, weird. I could have said that better, or I could have done this.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good to critique ourselves in that way. So good for you for going back in and feeling proud. Like, wow, that's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I got some good feedback from Wendy.
I know. I loved Wendy's feedback for you. It was just so beautiful that she took the moment to gather that right afterwards, because that means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What was something that surprised you with the learners in the space? Whether like their responses or whatever, I'm not sure what it will be. What was something that surprised you?
I think I was surprised at how different they all were, or how you could kind of, even without knowing them, tell their personalities, like the ones who were on mute or the ones who had their videos off. And then also, I think there was only one or two people that actually really spoke the whole time.
Yeah. Keira, that's really neat. That speaks volumes to what you started this conversation with today, of that piece that you're really walking away with is that like technological literacy, you know? And that wasn't even a focus this year. That was the focus of last year's course. But this year it was just a subtle focus as we continued. Oh no. We're still recording.
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
That's okay. We're still recording, so that's fine. Yeah. But I was saying it was a subtle focus as you continue to do everything else. It was a common theme or a common thread in the tapestry of your year. And I think that that's neat that you're able to learn a little bit about people now in an online setting. Shows your comfort with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was cool to see them all, but also to notice that they were nervous as well and uncomfortable at points. So yeah, when I first went into it, I remember being really nervous. And then as soon as I saw them all, kind of
and realized, were you surprised at how young they were too?
Yeah. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah. And did they grasp the concept of Fibonacci, or did it take them some time to understand?
It worked perfectly into what they were doing. I think they'd done one meeting before, and this meeting was actually all focusing on Fibonacci. So Wendy ran through an introduction to it, and then I ran my thing.
Oh, cool.
So it worked.
That's perfect.
It worked well. They understood it. And my activity was finding something in your house that reminds you of Fibonacci.
Oh, sweet.
And they all found different things like slinkies and flowers.
What? That's a great activity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
No problem.
Going back into sort of the rest of the portfolio then, and your answer might be this artifact for a couple of these questions. What do you think is your strongest artifact in your portfolio, and why?
I do think this one, as well as the other leadership activity we did.
Yeah.
Where I was, this is another one, where I was the leader and I ran through the activity with our pod. Not this one.
I loved that one. That was actually one of my highlights, I think, of the year, Keira. It was so fun.
Yeah.
The way that you hosted that. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It was weird to kind of lead them, I guess.
Yeah. Totally, but they all were so great with it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging artifact to complete, do you think?
I think the Phi design one.
Oh, interesting. that speaks volumes to how the things that make us grow the most are the hardest.
Mm-hmm. It was really challenging because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make the meeting, and my family was still there and they had to leave, and we were on a tight schedule.
Logistics. So how did you overcome the challenges?
I think just organizing myself and knowing that I had all the right things and just waiting until the meeting time. And
Nice.
yeah, just being organized. I knew what I had to do, and I just had to stop myself from stressing once I'd completed everything.
Love that. Okay. Are there other artifacts that we haven't looked at yet?
I think so.
Let's see these other ones.
There's this one where I ran the pod and we had the agenda.
Yeah.
And then all
Beautiful.
of the question answers.
Cool.
Then the topic 3 guiding document that you have.
Beautiful.
And I really liked this document because I felt like it was very well done, and there's lots of information in it, like this table where we all signed up, and then I put feedback at the bottom.
That's awesome. Yeah, I felt really good about that too.
Yeah, I think this is another one that I was proud of because I felt like it was just kind of the stable piece of the topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it carried us for a long time, that document.
Yeah. And then I just had 2 other things. I just threw, I chose 2 pieces from other courses that were, I guess, art.
Yeah.
Because, well, they were 2 assignments, that this one and this one, where I chose the art option, which I never normally do, so that's why I added them.
So it's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a bit.
Yeah.
It turned out so well.
Mm-hmm.
What was your medium? What were you using? Paints? Or pencil crayons?
For the one where it's Canada, that was paint, yeah. And I think that's it. I just have my assessments that I put in the back.
Perfect. Oh, I love the organization. It looks great on that last page.
Yeah. I like Mahara. Everyone else in our group seems to dislike it. I like it.
Kiana loves it too.
Yeah.
She made a really cool portfolio as well in there.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much last year, but I feel like once you learn how to use it.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a pretty big learning curve, but then you're like, oh yeah, it's super user friendly, and you can make it look really visually appealing.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm going to really look forward to going through those assessment documents with detail. The last assessment piece that we need to do today is for the exit interview. So back in your reflection document, you'll see that scale that we've seen lots from 1 to 5. 5 being that you're really demonstrating a proficiency in the skill and understanding of the course. You're communicating, you're learning, you're critically thinking, you're demonstrating personal connections to learning. So I'm not sure even if we need to have much debate around this, because I hope that you see yourself on the far right-hand side of the scale. Because that's where I see you, and I would just like to give you a 5 out of 5 for that.
You think a 5?
I think so. I mean, so maybe it would help if I gave, because we've done lots of little assessments, right, for course engagement and for each specific topic. This is an overall. So it's 10% of your mark, but it's overall. So it's all about the journey that you've been through, your participation throughout, your communication throughout, your presentation today, and your reflections today. So it's all the way from the beginning to like this moment where we are now.
Mm-hmm. I find self-assessments pretty hard. I feel like I usually lowball myself.
That's why I'm helping out a bit today. Yeah, I think self-reflections are extremely difficult. They don't ever get easy.
Yeah.
Reflections often in my line of work, and it's tricky. But because we've done quite a few of them this year, this one I wanted to kind of be just a little bit more together. And to be honest, I don't see that there were many other opportunities for you to rise up more than you did. I saw lots of pushing the seams of comfort this year in so many different ways. And even through like challenging situations like the traveling that you did, you still managed to really be quite present.
Yeah.
When I think back to it as well, I really do think that like the leadership topic that you chose, working with me as the leader, I felt like that was one of the strongest. I felt like it was really clear that you were the leader and you were great at emailing everyone and updating everyone. Whereas some of the other learners didn't quite catch on to what I was hoping. But as soon as I invited hopefully that's the last time that happens. I'm not sure why that's happening. It might be my internet, it might be yours. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I felt like this year, even though I had a couple setbacks with traveling and having a funeral, I always felt like when I came back, I didn't miss anything because I always kept on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You were never emailing me saying, what am I doing? What are we doing now? You were able to go to all the right places to find that information and yeah. So I think that we'll do 5 out of 5 for that piece.
Okay.
So let's open up your course, Keira, and see where we're at with submissions.
Okay. I have